Hey guys, it's Hynesy here. If you're brand new to this channel, please smash that subscribe button. It's really important to help us grow this awesome channel. Well, as always, 10 p.m. Eastern, we had the Gridsy session on. We had some fantastic guests again this week. We had our boy Sweenes. We had Devil's Treasure, who was a huge contributor to the RSG campaign to raise funds, of course, for the American Cancer Society. So he joined us as well. We had Shadowland's own John Kutter. We also had, of course, our boy the Pillz, Pillz, and Grid. Had a wonderful chat. Talked about all sorts of different topics. We talked about Conquest, of course, talked about Dad Bod Boba coming to the game. And of course, we had Grid talking about the Death Nut. And there's a picture there you're going to want to see. Enjoy the chat, guys. We'll see you again 10 p.m. Eastern on Twitch this Friday. Guys, we're recording right as we speak. Let's have a quick chat. Let's come back to Grid because we want to talk more about the Death Nut that he just inhaled an hour or so ago. He is out of critical condition.
I thought this was a family stream.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that in a little while. But Sweenes, dude, we need to talk your boy Dad Bod Boba. Let's start off with that one with you, brother, because I tell you what, you are the biggest bounty hunter lover that I know. I'm not going to lie. And, mate, how excited were you when you saw Boba was coming to the game, the new one, yeah?
Oh, dude, I mean, you called it at the top. It was just like a, full 6 to midnight. It was just beautiful. Honestly, as soon as Fennec came out, I really had just a small bit of hope that I might get a Galactic Legend bounty hunter. But it's not the case. Not the case. But he's, going to be a pseudo Galactic Legend in TW, which is now where the main focus for most guilds are going to be in order to get Relic 9 materials. So I'm happy. I'm really happy that I get to shoot some wrist knee rockets.
Watch out for those wrist rockets.
Like his kit is just bonkers. It's going to be really interesting to see what his baseline stats are since he gains 50% offense. And I'm curious to see how easily his contract is going to be fulfilled, because you should be pairing him with, the likes of Fennec, probably OG Boba, Django, and maybe Bosk. Bosk or Grief for the mass assists. So I'm curious to see how quickly you can get to the contract and how much of an impact that'll have on the rest of the battle going forward.
I like it, mate. I'm sure that we've still got a bit of a wait because we've got some work to do. And with that, I'll move on to Devil. If I can ask you, brother, who's joining us today, Conquest. How are you finding Conquest? And obviously that's a polarizing topic. I think we were all going to talk about that at one point. But Devil, let's talk Conquest, mate. How are you finding it in comparison? I don't want to go over it too much because really it's been done to death a bit lately, but it is an important topic at the moment with everything going on. So, Devil, what do you think about Conquest? How are you finding it, brother?
I just love it. I think it's the best thing that's ever happened to the game. I think it's really a great direct. No, of course, it's terrible, right? Like the first new Conquest is like always crap, and then the second and third of the same one are going to be like simple, right? We're going to have it on autopilot. Everyone freaks out the first time there's a new Conquest. It always gets slightly worse, and then we figure it out, right? Now we got these thermal detonators going off with these debuff cards. Like, there's going to be fun. I'm almost done with the sectors, at least. I'm about halfway through, so I'll get to the red crate and it'll be good, but it's definitely not fun. Not as fun. Like they made us think they were getting rid of the grindy feats, and it's like, oh, by the way, win 40 times with smugglers. Have fun. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
But it's worth it for Dead Bod Boba, man. He's gonna be awesome. Like, people worry about Django rockets right now. The knee rockets are gonna be the next level. Like, you're gonna have both. How do you control both of those dudes?
Yeah, spot on. Absolutely. Cutter, if I can ask you, brother, about Boba and how he's going to slot in. I think certainly, you're a part of, VG with me, which is obviously a pretty, hardcore territory war guild. They focus on that, and having a character that is primarily based on, let's say in essence, a faux galactic legend. an additional Foe Galactic Legend with his stats once he gets up and running, he's going to be pretty brutal in that game mode, isn't he, Kutter? But how do you think people are really going to prioritize him? They're going to go after him harder than Maul or around the same? I'm just curious on what your thoughts are, bro.
Well, I think if you're a serious in-game player, you just don't not take one seriously, right? Every iteration, it's every 3 Galactic Conquest, they're changing the game up. It's a new target. And if you're focused on staying at the end, it's just part of it. You got to slog it out. You got to get it. You want to stay competitive. And as far as Boba goes, I think he's got a really cool kit. I think he's got a lot that's going to be really neat about him. I understand, his leadership ability is one thing, but what's so cool about the bounty hunters is you can literally mix and match them in so many different ways. Each one has a different leadership ability, and I think it's fantastic. That's what makes I love bounty hunters too. So Sweeney, you and I got that in common, man. You can just do so much with them, and one lead. And what's neat is you never really completely get done learning them, right? It's always you're seeing new things, new characters come out, old bounty hunters. I mean, we've started using Aurora Sing lately. Who would have thought, this obscure tune, now is becoming useful in this new great big map. It's really cool against spam teams. So what's just cool about the bounty hunters is you're always finding new combinations, always making new neat stuff work. You tweak their modding up a little bit, and you're discovering a whole new wealth of stuff again. So I love it.
No, that's great for that. And Pillz, obviously you're in the high GP bracket. Mate, you've got all the toys. You've got them all at a very, very high level, mate. Boba, how are you finding Conquest and the chase for Boba? I mean, you're going to get him. You're going to get the red crate. I know you are. That's just going to happen.
I just got the 6th crate this morning. I actually like this new Conquest a lot. I missed out on Maul on the last Conquest because in the second of the 3 arc, I just couldn't handle the grind. And so I stopped at the 5th crate and I said, I can't be bothered. And I'm not having that problem with this one. And I like the fact that there are more instantaneous rewards. One of the biggest problems I had with previous Conquests is you really got to wait to the end to get anything. Here you get a lot throughout in the interim, and that kind of takes the edge off of some of the grindiness, and it allowed me to get Maul before having to wait for the damn red crate.
Yeah, true, absolutely. No, I didn't even think about that, to be honest. For those that were pretty close, it's certainly an advantage. But Boba should be a bit crazy. I'm looking forward to certainly working pretty hard on him. But do you think he'll fit in pretty hardcore in other places as well, Pillz, or is it just going to be used in Territory War mainly and then fit into GOC where you can use it?
Yeah, I think he'll fit in a bunch of other places. I mean, obviously his kit's built for the benefits of Territory War, so we'll see how he's creatively used there. But I think there'll be some creative uses in Grand Arena. There'll be some creative uses elsewhere, and he's another dominant character for the TBs and that sort of thing. So I think there's a lot of upside. Obviously, he's got a special bonus for one game mode. It's going to be interesting to see how they play with that and other characters in the future. Mm-hmm. But he's got a lot of his kit's so diverse and so well, at least designed on paper. We'll see how it actually plays.
Yeah,
that I think there's a lot of utility.
Brilliant. No, I like it. And Grid, we're gonna come back and talk to you about you half dying a little while ago. We're not going to do that yet, but your thoughts as well with the newest Conquest, because we haven't actually talked about it now that it's in the wild and we're actually down and dirty into it now. How are you finding it for someone that really wasn't a huge fan previously? Are you finding this any better at all, or is it just like more of the same?
I'm actually a little surprised when people tell me they don't like it so much. I think it's a great step in the right direction. Is there improvement? Yeah, of course there's still room for improvement on Conquest in general, but I think this was a very undeniably an improvement from the previous Conquest. And some examples that I'm going to give is kind of close to what Pillz was talking about, how there's a lot more things that can be accomplished kind of first time around, but there's even a little bit more if I were to go into it of my biggest gripe about the previous Conquest was instead of being challenging, it was grindy. I hate grindiness of things. That's not fun. It's tedious. It's boring. It's not thoughtful. It's not creative. It's grindy and it's annoying. It's supposed to beat down your willpower to play the game. And I think that's incredibly stupid. This one, however, if we're looking at, for example, the event feats, you can knock out 3 or 4 all in one pretty much one go if you got, the right sort of team comp for it. You can do things with both Boba and Jango, all bounty hunters, a ton of smugglers also double up there, Boba and Fennec, and then Boba and Han. Like, you can do
both Fets, Fennec and Han clear 4 of the event feats.
And that's a team. That's easily a team. Yeah. And so, like, I think it's really nice that, if you have specifically gotten, Boba and like nobody else, like, okay, I mean, that's kind of a bummer, I guess. But like, for the most part, if you have any bounty hunters, like, I mean, I'm using my bounty hunters at honestly kind of like a mediocre level and am able to clear Sith Empire and Bad Batch and all these characters. If you just do a little bit of remodding, you can take care of so many feats with just one team. And since they're event feats, you can do it in whatever sector that you want that matches well with where you're at in your roster. So I think that's actually kind of nice. There's a lot of feats that are doubling up that you can do in the similar things. I'm really excited because I hated this in the previous one with the mid sector bosses. I love how they're getting creative. Like in sector 1, you have Padme, and to beat Padme. That for one of the feats for it, you have to win with Zam surviving, and that's super possible. That's super doable, but that makes perfect sense. It goes along with the theme of bounty hunters, but Zam assassinating or trying to kill Padme is a very prominent thing of episode 3. And they've incorporated that into Conquest. And so I was like, wow, that's actually, it's not just win with light side, win with dark side, win with undersize. I was like, that's stupid. That's not creative at all in any way, shape, or form. So I'm actually happy with this Conquest, or I guess I should say happier.
Yeah.
With this Conquest.
I like how they've changed it up as well with Sector 3, with Han at the end, the boss Han at the end. I think it is in Sector 3, if I'm right. How you have to keep him alive. I think that's cool. Like, he's sitting there in the chamber. You got to take everyone else out around him, and if you do that, you win.
Unless you're an idiot like me and you take him out immediately in the first 4 attempts and try to figure out why the hell am I losing?
So you figure out who you're
because somebody didn't,
like, I
lost
to read 500 energy. What happened?
Energy's overrated, Pillz. We know that. That's it's easy, mate.
There's a crystal for that.
Straight up, it really is. But look, I've had my thoughts as well with Hirsch and Lego the other day, and look, I don't find it anywhere near as I was really relieved last time I finished it. I'm certainly just working through it, and I know that I'm going to get there. But you still got to keep on your toes, and you just have to chip in every day, every once in a while, and you're going to get over the line. In my position, anyway, and I feel better about that. Feeling like there's less pressure to get it done, whereas before you're thinking this is just a huge mountain to climb. It really is. But before we go any further, we need to talk to you, Grid, of course, about the Death Nut. Now, I got sent this photo, right? I've been sent this photo, which I'm going to share with everyone here now. This is a photo that we got sent.
You're not supposed to share that.
Yeah, I know. So this is the photo that we got from Grid. And dead set, guys, this is after the Death Nut. He looks like an absolute, I'm going to say it, he looks like a bag of right here. He is absolutely stuffed.
Looks like he's about to give birth.
He's not he's not looking great. He's not looking great. But all that being said, I just thought I had to share that one with everyone out there, because that is an incredible image of someone in an incredible amount of pain. So I've never passed out in my, like, I've never blacked out from anything in my life. Like, I've never blacked out. And that was the first time the pain was so excruciating in my stomach that, like, dude, I was sitting there and I was just trying everything in my power to not pass out. I was like, don't pass out. You're still on stream. Don't pass out. I was like, Miss Grant. Like, I need ice packs. I'm losing it. It just, oh my goodness, dude. That was painful. But we did raise $400 for #Team C. So yeah, ultimately it was worth it. I'm happy to it. That's 400 pounds of trash removed from the ocean. So 100% worth it. But that absolutely, man, does that, can you hear that on your side? The beat works. Yep.
That absolutely sucked. That was
Hey,
trash, dude.
Hynesy, I got an idea. Why don't you post that photo in the general chat of your Discord, and whoever does the best meme voted on in your Discord, Star Wars related meme of Grid gets to come on a future Gridsy.
I'm on it. That sounds like a great idea. We're going to set that up straight after the stream. So if you're watching this now, go to our Discord server. The description's below. There'll be a channel called Grid Memes set up after this chat, and we're going to post that picture in there. Take it, make some memes out of it. Best one comes on and joins us in the next few weeks. I like that. That's a win.
Is that a good idea?
Yes, that's a bloody great idea. Absolutely, it is. So that's what we're going to do.
Grid, the shit's already out of the horse.
No escape now. It's all over. But guys, we're gonna finish this up with a quick chat between all of you guys, and I want your opinion. We've got them all pretty well settled in our rosters now. The majority of the people that have been playing this game for quite some time. I'm going to start with Sweenes and work my way around. So, how are you guys finding Maul fitting in there? Are there teams you guys are coming up against where Maul's used in a different way than, say, just with Lord Vader? Sweenes, are you coming up against him? Because I don't know. Have you got Maul yet? I'm not sure. I'm not trying to be cheeky. I don't think you do yet, have you?
I'll give you one guess.
Okay, there we go, straight up. So I feel like a tool right now. Anyway, Sweenes, have you come up against it though? Have you come up against it?
Actually, no, I haven't come up against it in the wild, being that my arena team is still gas 501st.
Nothing wrong with that. No, nothing wrong with that. Just thought I'd check.
No worries, man.
All good, brother. Devil, how are you finding it? Are you coming across Maul? Have you got Maul, and what are you finding it used with?
Oh yeah, I love Maul. I have Maul. He's really, he's ready to rock and roll. He's been in my arena. I'm like the only one that actually put him in arena, and it's great. It's so much fun to play, and I barely fall anymore. Like, people complain, it's not as bad as like when JMK first dropped with Cat. Like, no one could win. People can still win, but you don't fall much. They just don't want to deal with like going through the Vader squad, because you can auto JMK mirrors, right? But fighting Lord Vader, you have to actually think about what you're doing, or you'll just time out. So
absolutely,
it's a lot of fun. And Maul lead, I walked the first week of GAC thinking like, oh, I'm not going to upgrade the lead. I'm just going to run him with Vader every time, right? No, the lead is amazing. Like, him, Watt, and Django kills anything. It's so much fun.
It's crazy. There we go. Kutter, how are you finding it, brother? How are you finding Maul out there? Enjoying it?
I actually don't have it yet. After I made that spill about staying on the grind, no. Hey, that last, I was like Pillz. I mean, it was that last set of Galactic Conquest was miserable. I couldn't stand it. So I'm finding this one be a lot easier. I'll have them unlocked here very shortly, but I didn't have the stomach to actually just go through the time. I mean, it just takes a lot of coordination, this new layout does. So I've been learning that kind of as I go. But from what I'm seeing, though, he does look fabulous. There's a lot of uses. I think he's from what I see and what I'm hearing, I think he seems better on offense than defense, just because of how much he can kill. But again, I can't speak out of my own experience, so
no, fair enough,
I digress.
Mate, fair enough. And there'll be a spot opening up in VG very soon because there's no more from Kutter. Got it? No worries. Straight up. I'm kidding. I'm joking. It's a joke.
Where do I
joke.
send my .gg?
I'm kidding.
Oh, whoa, hey now.
Pillz,
WWL founder.
Pillz, you having fun, brother? You having fun with Maul, mate? Obviously, you got him up and running. Let us know what are you finding.
I am. I'm not running him with Mandalorians. I'm playing around with the Lord Vader because I've got everybody on that team Relic 8, including all 3 of the tanks. So so he's a lot of fun there. I think the observation's right. I think he's a little bit better when you can control the offense. I don't think the AI is tuned perfectly to maximize his kit on defense, but he is very much a timeout risk. So, he's a fun character. I think there's going to be more coming. I think with some of these other characters, there's just going to be more and more to mess about with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Grid, are you coming up against it, mate? Are you finding it anywhere?
Yeah. I think a good comparison for him is kind of like almost like Imperial Troopers. Like, it's not that like Imperial Troopers are necessarily bad on defense, but they're better on offense. And so I think Maul kind of fits in that category of like, if you throw him on defense, you could definitely trip people up. I actually lost against one that I was playing. It was a Maul lead, Bam, and who was the last one on there? Bo-Katan. It was Maul, Lead, Bam, and Bo-Katan. And I thought my Vader was going to get through it, and I just ended up kind of getting stuck on some ability blocks and this and that and whatnot. So I cleaned it up pretty easily, but it can trip people up. And I think, sometimes you don't really see troopers on defense that often. They're normally kind of easy to handle, but if they get away from you, it gets really obnoxious because they kind of just keep going and going and going if they get ahead of you. And Maul seemed to fit in that category. If you just get rid of him right off the rip, it's easy. There's no real issues with it whatsoever. But if he just kind of keeps going and keeps getting away from you, it can get really annoying. But like these guys are saying here, I think he has a lot more potential on offense for how many things that he can be when you're in the driver's seat. So great character overall. Really excited to see what he brings to the table, especially with that Lord Vader kit, because that was just frankly abysmally pathetic without Maul. That dude was a joke. And now he's doing way better with Lord Vader in there. So
they should have released Maul and then Lord Vader afterwards. I've said that from the start.
100%.
I think that at least then when you actually got Lord Vader, you wouldn't have been disappointed because you have the parts to make him what he needs to be. I think that's definitely.
I'll tell you this much though. I can't wait to see him in 5s in GAC, and I think that lineup with Royal Guard, Shore Trooper, and Stormtrooper, Lord Vader, and Maul is pretty much convinced me that Lord Vader is my next R9.
Yeah, I've already taken him to Relic 9 during the week. Lord Vader, and
I don't even think Lord Vader needs Maul in 5.
I'm doing Maul as well, just for the I think the boosting protection as well. So yeah, no, definitely one I'll be doing Maul next. So yeah, pretty exciting times. It's pretty crazy stuff.